Welcome back to Let's Play Knights of the Old Republic 2, Sith Lords. I'm Hunter Black Luna. We just woke up in this medical bay, and we're nearly naked, and we don't know what's going on. So, let's check it out. And if we're ever hurt, we can come back here to our KOTOR tank and take a dip. Although, interestingly enough, in KOTOR 2, your health points regenerate automatically, same as your force points, although we don't have force points right now. So healing items are less necessary, although I believe the regeneration is rather slow. And let's kick it like a man! Oh. I don't think palming it will do anything either. Alright, we need a way around. I don't need this, I fought against the Mandalorians. Wasn't for me, they'd all be speaking Mandalorian in the galaxy. But ever since the Mandalorian Wars, we've kind of been walking in exile, hence why we're called the Exile. So we don't really know much about what happened during the Jedi Civil War. Yoink. And let's just get to looting, as usual. That's our secret, that's how we won the war. But I should mention, not many people know what happened with the whole Revan and Malak and the Jedi Civil War thing. There's all sorts of theories going around. It's actually kind of depressing how much we didn't save the Republic, based on what KOTOR 2 says. This lab station is good for medical stuff. Stems, mines, grenades, chemicals of all kinds. And that's cool, but we don't really need anything like that right now. I prefer a regular workbench. We're trying to get to the morgue, but it's impossible. So let's check this out. Patient life signs? Okay, everyone but us is dead. What the hell happened? Severe plasma burns. Last treatment resulted in death. The hell? Lethal dose? This is suspicious. But we don't have any spikes, so we can't backtrace that request. So we'll just see about that later. Let's check the medical logs. Those aren't encrypted. From 3 days ago, 2 days ago, and 1 day ago. Here's the one from 3 days ago.
Still examining the survivors of the damaged freighter. Looks like it goes by the name of the Ebon Hawk. Only one survivor, placed in the KOTOR tank for recovery. The carbon scoring on the vessel suggests it was in a battle, but no indication of who fired on it. Couldn't get much from the Nava computer. I'm surprised the ship was able to make it inside the Paragus asteroid field without the asteroid drift charts. Aside from the lone survivor, we recovered an old woman. No life signs. There was also a protocol droid and a utility droid on board. Sent both down to maintenance while security sorts through the other items on the ship. It looks like the utility droid, a T3 unit, was able to get the ship working enough to get to the colony. We're prepared to...
Alright, that was 3 days ago, so we arrived here about 3 days ago.
Could be a Jedi, but we won't know for sure until we get the transmission back from the Republic. If the survivor is a Jedi, that would account for the recovery rate. But I'm more concerned that a Jedi here may cause trouble. Some of the miners, especially KOTOR, are already another accident today. A detonation in the ventilation tunnels. If the lockdown measures hadn't activated, the whole facility would have been destroyed. Got most of the injured to the KOTOR tanks in time, but the rest had to go to the morgue. One of the wounded said a droid caused the accident, but we couldn't get any specifics.
And 1 day ago.
Miners about the Jedi. A number of the droids have been acting oddly, and not even memory wipes seem to be fixing the problem. There was a detonation in another one of the fuel vents the droids were working in. We deactivated several of them, and moved them down to maintenance. But we're still treating the plasma burns. That cuts us down to almost half shifts, and with the droids malfunctioning, we may not make the Telos shipment for this month. Fortunately, the detonation didn't cause a lockdown.
Warning. There has been a fuel detonation in the mining tunnels. Emergency lockdown commencing. All personnel report to quarters and prepare for emergency venting countermeasures. measures.
No! If the ventilation systems are malfunctioning, evacuate the medical bay! Everyone evacuate!
I think I'm starting to get a picture about what happened to this place. Bay functions. There's the morgue. Might be something in there. That's the only place we haven't checked so far. Yeah, and I was about to remark on that. The camera is fixed on our Kolto tank. Let's get her open. Let's get over there and check things out. That's the old woman from the prologue. Wonder how she got on the Ebon Hawk. Plasma torch. That cuts through, oh, just about anything. Very nice. And the dead woman is moving.
Find what you're looking for amongst the dead?
I thought you were dead.
Close to death. Yes, closer than I'd like. You have the smell of the Kolto tank about you. How do you feel?
I heard your voice.
Yes, I had hoped as much. I slept here too long and could not awaken. It may be I reached out unconsciously, and your mind must have been a willing one. Or perhaps you have been trained for such things. I am Kreia, and I am your rescuer, as you are mine. Tell me, do you recall what happened?
On board a Republic ship, the Harbinger.
Your ship was attacked. You were the only survivor. A result of your Jedi training, no doubt.
I'm no longer a member of the Jedi Order.
Your stance, your walk tells me you are a Jedi. Your walk is heavy. You carry something that weighs you down.
That's a good summary.
So it would seem. Keep your past and let us focus on the now. I do not know. I was removed from the events of the world as I slept. A survey of the surroundings may provide the answers we seek. The ship we arrived in must still be in this place. We should recover it and leave. We were attacked once, and I fear our attackers will not give up the hunt so easily. Without transport, weapons, and information, they will find us easy prey indeed.
You sound like you know something. And thanks to my awareness stat, my character notices too.
Even as I slept, I felt much unrest here. I saw strange visions, minds colored with fear. Now, everything here feels terribly silent. I would find out as much as you can about this place quickly. I fear we will need to depart as suddenly as we arrived. You may wish to extend your search to some clothes, if only for proper first impressions.
I'll agree with that.
I'm not offering to help you. I'm not so young as to leap from death's door as quickly as you.
Oh. Great.
I do not know. Why did they spare you? Indeed, a Jedi trance could protect one from such poisons. In fact, the sedatives may have been intended to keep you unconscious for some time. It would prove lethal to those untrained in such techniques, however. Most curious.
So someone was trying to keep us asleep while whatever happened in this facility happened.
And so do you. Perhaps we could discuss it at length later on. Now we have other concerns, among them finding our new enemy.
And yet you won't come with me.
I leave you to the explorations of this place. Here I will remain and attempt to center myself.
Have fun with the dead body. And the light side. If you've ever seen anything related to Star Wars in your entire life, you'll be familiar with the light side and the dark side. The light side is good, the dark side is evil, and that's pretty much how it goes. Pretty binary morality system, although KOTOR, and in particular this game, the Sith Lords kinda brings more moral depth to the series than it's ever seen before or since, really. Plasma torches get through anything. Just like that. Also, we can use it as a makeshift weapon.
Emergency lockdown is in effect. Turbolifts have been sealed to contain the explosion.
Yeah, the log mentions something about a detonation in the mining tunnels. An actual sword. Yeah, the plasma torch is pretty cool, but it doesn't actually function very well as a weapon. If we'll have a look. 4 to 9 damage versus the Vibro Blade, which is upgradable and does 4 to 13 in our hands. I think we're going with the sword. Now there's a man who knows his priorities. Clothing? Yeah, weapon first. And our first enemies? Damaged mining droids. Now we have the 3 basic types of attacks as well as just a standard conventional attack. For the early game, when we only have one sword, I actually like power attack the most. Because you can do that to some of the robots. You get a massive advantage against them because they're trying to use a ranged weapon. And here's a mining laser. In case you were inclined to switch to guns. Guns are a little better in this game, but they're still kind of Nope. That does feel a little badass to do that. Flurry with a single-handed weapon, as I explored in the last game, usually it's not actually worth it compared with just going in with a single attack. Trying to make that attack the most powerful you can make it. Man, these corpses are actually really messed up. There's a bunch of them. And this only happened a couple days ago, apparently. This is gonna be locked too.
This is the exit, but it is sealed. Strange. In my visions, it was open.
And the dead lady is talking to our mind. Either that or we're just going crazy. Either one's kinda likely. Let's have a look around. Check out this desk. There's a lot of logs and stuff you can access in Paragus to help you get a better picture of what happened. Well, let's just start from the top and work our way down.
Is this thing on? Alright, all hands, especially you, KOTOR, listen up, because I'm not gonna say this again. The next one of you Juma heads to try and smuggle a blaster, or so help me, any sort of military-grade frag weapons into my facility is gonna take a long walk out the airlock. Why? Because in case you forgot, Paragian fuel explodes at high temperatures. That's what blasted that chunk out of Paragus 2 and created this asteroid field. So if I catch any of you with anything other than sonic charges or mining lasers, I'll burn you and your contract. Security out.
And those are the only kind of weapons we're actually going to find on this station because of that.
And according to one of the miners, it was because one of the sonic charges went off prematurely. And like before, it was one set by a mining droid. The 3 idiots were grouped so close to the charge it might as well have been a grenade going off. The blast turned their bones to dust. The blast wrecked the internal components of the droid that set the charge, though, so we can't even dissect it to see what happened. I don't like what's going on here. Ever since that Jedi showed up, things are getting worse. It's not just KOTOR and his miners, or the fights, but now the droids are acting crazy. If we don't find what's causing this, or who, this facility's gonna be space dust by the time the next Telos freighter arrives. So, you're in maintenance. Then maybe you can tell me what's going on with these droids.
Sir, I don't know. It's like their behavior cores are undergoing binary decay, but I can't find the source. This shouldn't be happening.
Well, that's reassuring. It isn't happening. So the next time we nearly have a breach in the ventilation tunnels, I can just close my eyes and pretend it's my imagination. You better give me some answers. I want to know the damage these droids can do if they start mining us instead of asteroid rock.
Sir, these droids aren't combat models. Their mining lasers are weaker and less accurate than blasters. I doubt those droids could even hit one of us.
Are you blind? What about the miners in Medbay? It's sabotage, and it started right after the commander said we weren't going to sell the Jedi to the exchange. So I want you to find out how these droids are being sabotaged. That'll tell me who's trying to clear a path to get that Jedi off the facility, and stop him. In the meantime, make sure the security's armed with all the ion and sonic charges you can find. If those droids start coming after me, I'm gonna need more than low-grade mining lasers to take them down. Clear?
Yes, sir. Maintenance control out.
And there's a little hint about the kind of weaponry that we can use. Ion grenades and weaponry are obviously the best against droids, but sonics do the job too.
I installed an override switch to shut down any droids on this level, just in case someone locks me out of the administration console. As added insurance, I tied the override switch into the circuit to the holding cell door. It'll make sure it can only be opened if all droids in the level are shut down. I doubt KOTOR or any of his men have the skill to pull off something like this, but I'm not taking any chances while we're sitting in the middle of this asteroid minefield. Whoever's responsible won't be able to have the droids rescue him after I lock him up. Nothing will cut through that door. He'll be trapped.
Interesting. That means the perp might be in there even now.
I secured the stealth field generator inside one of the footlockers in the security storage room. If I have the specs right, the interface field should be effective against the droid's sensors. All I need to do is equip the belt, and some skill with stealth in order to use it. As long as I don't get too close to the droids, they shouldn't detect me. If any more droids start malfunctioning, the belt should buy me enough time to get to the override switch I set up in the communications blister console. I'd rather shut them down than destroy them. I want to find out how these droids are being sabotaged, and maybe even turn them against whoever's sabotaging them.
Interesting. Yeah, that's the sneaky option. If you wanted one. I'm kind of good with, you know, just slicing stuff up. Those are the logs. Maybe the security officer's still around somewhere if he managed to do that. Let's check the cameras. We're in the main security office. Security storage room. The neighboring room. There's the communications blister console with the override switch. And there's somebody in the holding cells. There's the hatch to the mining tunnels. Interesting. Either that or security tunnel. Can we get through it? Ah, we can. Isn't there supposed to be an invisibility belt here? That furthers my theory. Maybe the security officer got away.
Be careful. There is much energy in the room beyond, yet it stems from nothing that lives. Can you not sense them? Reach out. Cast aside your sight. Cast aside what you see, and instead reach out with your perceptions. Ah, you can feel them. The droids you cannot perceive, but the small oscillations of energy, that you can feel, echoing outwards.
When this power is triggered, you should save the game. Pretty explicit warning. I think we're good though. There's rock. We could use the ion grenade. Or we could just hit him with a big old sword. Like a man would. And do big old ninja flips and stuff.
You hear. It is fate, but it is then. It is the Force, you feel. It has not been so long as for you to forget. Do not turn away from it. Listen. Feel it echoing within you. Come. I shall guide you down the familiar paths. You will need it if we are to survive and escape this place.
Our connection to the Force was severed some time ago, but by leveling up we can get back in touch. And he's dead. Now that we've cleared the room, let's go for our first level up. And we become Force sensitive. Guess what the first Force power I'm gonna take is. Just guess. Just make a wild guess. Well, I need repair or computer use first. I don't remember. I think I'll do it like this then. Yeah, that should be okay. And there's all kinds of Force powers of every kind, new and old. Especially notable is the Mind Trick and Force Confusion line, which is sort of like AI hacking in Mass Effect 2. You target an enemy, and they think that you're their friend for 30 seconds, and that their buds are their enemies. Good fun. All kinds of dark side powers, you know the standards. Stun Droid. By the way, Stun Droid is absolutely fantastic here, as you might be able to tell. Effect line. Force Body. You can fuel Force powers with your health and your Force instead of just your Force. If you're a Jedi Guardian, could be an interesting choice to take. Battle Meditation. It's not as powerful as what Bastila could bring to bear, but it is really cool. As a matter of fact, I might go into that, man. That's like Force Valor, but better in that the higher levels apply debuffs to the enemy. But for now, Burst of Speed. And now we have the Force. A very, very limited connection to the Force. There's the stealth field generator. Then it's possible one of these corpses is the security officer. So we could try to stealth it. Screw that, man. I don't need that crap. When I can do a power attack. Let's go ahead and apply the burst of speed. It'll give us +2 defense, and it'll make us move faster. That's good. Power attack. He sees us. Closing the distance quicker is also good for a swordsman. And we could stealth over to the console and shut them down. In fact, you could do that a few times throughout this stage. Screw that. Compared to the Mandalorian, these things ain't shit. Even if I am just a little rusty compared to how I was. And even if I'm just taking my first steps in the Force. Again. We can barely even handle 2 bursts of speed. Gotta kill everybody on this level before the holding cells will open up. And you can go in and have a nice chat with that person who's being held in there. Med pack check. Let me guess. Yep, locked.
Emergency lockdown is in effect. Turbolifts
There's an area, I believe it's up here, that holds like 1 or 2 more droids. Yeah. It feels good to do that. Because if I flurried, then I just missed them half the time. And if I found a second sword to equip, then I'd still miss them, because we don't have any training in 2-up fighting yet. I think I'm gonna go with double sabers this time, when we eventually do get lightsabers, as opposed to a double blade. That's just what I'm thinking though, my plans could change. It depends.
Sealed to contain.
Yeah, containing the explosion, blah blah. I think we've cleared it out. That's... It goes somewhere else. Yep, and we can't get in. Only open in a ship docks from the facility. Teleportal? Oh, just a little teleportal. A mini one. And the force field that was around this door has dissipated.
Beyond this door, someone yet lives. Be mindful. His thoughts are difficult to read. But you have nothing to fear from this one, and he might yet prove
Freya,
useful.
why don't you have any eyes?
Nice outfit. What, you miners change regulation uniform while I've
My
been
eyes
here?
are up here, bud.
Atten Rand. Excuse me if I don't shake hands. The field only causes mild
Clever.
electrical burns. You mean before or after that Jedi showed up? Either way, it's a real short story. You see, this Jedi shows up, and you know what that means. Where there's one Jedi, the Republic will soon be crawling up your ion engine in no time. But the story gets better. See, some of the miners get it into their ferrocrete skulls that since the Jedi's unconscious, they can collect the bounty the exchange has posted for live Jedi. Well, what passes for the law here didn't like that idea. So the two groups started fighting.
Then there was some big explosion, and then I was sitting here for a long time, waiting for some half-naked miner to show up and ask a bunch of questions.
Don't know much about it. Maybe the exchange wants one as a trophy, or somebody's got something against Jedi and is looking to collect. Not many Jedi left. Wouldn't surprise me if the bounty's pretty high. The ones that weren't killed in the Jedi Civil War ended up switching off the lightsabers long ago. Word is there's not even a Jedi Council anymore, but who knows? Yeah, Revan, Malak, and the Jedi that went to join them in the Mandalorian Wars. They turned against the other Jedi and had a scrap that almost laid waste to the galaxy. Where have you
I've
been?
Away.
Well, I wasn't there, but like all Sith, Revan and Malak turned on each other. After they turned on the Jedi, of course.
This conversation actually determines what came before. Because they couldn't import the actual data like they do in Mass Effect, this conversation tree determines whether Revan was on the light side or the dark side, and whether Revan was a man or a woman. This one is dark side, this one is light side.
I guess. There's rumors all over space about it. All I heard was Revan returned to pay Malak back for trying to kill her in the first place. You know, women.
Well, I wasn't there, thankfully. But I heard what she was like during the Mandalorian Wars, and it sounded like she was quick to wipe out anyone who crossed her.
The males are bad enough. But when a woman falls to the dark side, you better space yourself before they catch
Thanks
you.
for the advice.
Look, no offense or anything, but your weird half-naked interrogation isn't my idea. Hey, wait a minute. You're that Jedi the miners were talking about.
No clue.
Where is everybody? Well, the miners can't all be gone. But if they are... Look, hey, let me out and I can help you. I can. I've gotten out of
He's
trouble
the Han
countless
Solo
times.
archetype character.
This facility isn't a military installation, which means we may have a chance. You shut down this cell security field and I can reroute the emergency system so we can get to the hangars.
I
Grab
like
a
that
ship and then we
plan.
fly out of here.
We should probably ask him to...
Huh? What are you talking about?
Never mind. Alright. Yeah, we do kind of need everyone we can get to help.
Great. Now to business. Let's get to the command console. Alright, here we are. Now this console is set on automatic hail. You may have heard it when you came in. The asteroid drift charts are constantly being updated, so it sends out a transmission to incoming vessels so they don't get crushed into space dust. The hail warns them to keep their distance until orbital drift charts are transmitted, and then provides docking instructions to incoming ships, usually freighters. Thing is, you can bounce that same transmission back to the comm here, and suddenly you've got access to the communication system from the inside. Pure Pazak. The console's ours. Now, all we need to do is reactivate the turbo lifts, cancel the emergency lockdown, and... Hey! This system's been severed from the main hub, after it was locked down from remote. You can't even reroute the system.
I think it's pretty clear there's been some kind of sabotage at work here.
No. Someone tried to lock down this whole level tight, and leave us here. Trapped. I doubt it. All we have is communications back. For all the good trying to shout in a vacuum will do us. We could try, but if the miners were trying to trap you up here and probably kill you, why not call them and chat? I don't think a friendly call is going to wake them up.
Changed, genius.
Be my guest. Not much else we can do.
Yeah, thanks.
The comm's all yours.
And yes, we actually glow when we get light side points this time. And your physical appearance changes. Mostly if you fall to the dark side, you'll start looking like a zombie motherfucker. It's... Frankly, I'm not a fan of that sort of blatant appearance change for when you turn evil, because the bad guys in real life, more often than not, don't have horns. In fact, they might be the prettiest people you know. Let's check the admin logs first. 321, just like the medical bay logs.
Dragged the freighter in. Was lucky it wasn't destroyed when it drifted into the asteroid field. Not much on board. One damaged droid, one annoying protocol droid, and a lot of bodies. Sent the survivor to medical and the others to the morgue. Didn't recognize the ship's ID code, so we transmitted it to the Republic for some answers. Questioned the protocol droid about what happened. Says his master, the survivor, I guess, was on the Republic ship the Harbinger when it suffered an engine failure. He says the survivor was a passenger on the vessel and a Jedi. So that's gonna mean truth. Inventoried the bodies and cargo. Everything matches the protocol droid's story. The T3 droid had seized up, so we left it in storage in standby mode. Don't know what code will access it. It could be it's voice activated for all we know. We put the protocol droid to work in maintenance, sorting the mining droid comm routines and updating the recognition sensors. And to shut him up. When the survivor recovers, hopefully we can get him off this station before there's a... Trouble between the work shifts. Word of the Jedi leaked out and the miners aren't sure what to do with him. Quarter's mining crew wanted us to collect the credits for the bounty the Exchange has on Jedi, but I put a stop to that. We're contacting Telos to get the Republic records on the Jedi, but nobody will... No word from the Republic. But I've sent out a broadcom transmission for records on this Ebon Hawk. One of the miners said it used to be a smuggling vessel. Accidents are making the miners restless. The droid behavior course must be undergoing some kind of binary decay. 2 miners were drilled by a droid's mining laser, and those blasts in the ventilation tunnels nearly caused the whole facility to blow. That was only a day ago, so this... All those bodies and mining droids, this happened lightning fast, guys. Let's try the comm system. No response from the dormitory. How about the hangar? Utility droid. Hello. It's always like, what, Lassie? She's trapped in the well. You sort of have to say what he said, because otherwise we don't understand what he's talking about. Now it's that or stay trapped up here forever.
back in control of T3, everybody. He's gonna have to find us a way to get out of the administration level. Next time on Let's Play Knights of the Old Republic 2 Sith Lords. Hunter Black Luna, see you then.